Article 2 falls.
Madam President,
Majority Leader's
I
recognized.
move to adjourn the impeachment trial of Alejandro N. Mayorkas, sine die, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There is a sufficient second. Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Barrasso. Mr. Bennett.
Folks, you can say bye-bye to your
Mrs.
Constitution.
Blackburn.
The articles of
Blumenthal.
impeachment, the Democrats have blocked.
Mr. Booker. Mr.
They
Boozman.
do not want to know the truth
Mr. Braun.
of even looking
Britt.
at the evidence.
Mr.
If
Brown.
you don't think our country
Mr.
has
Budd.
been taken over, you're seeing it right
Ms.
here.
Butler.
This is unreal. Not one Democrat
Cantwell.
wanted to
Mrs.
vote for
Capito.
seeing the evidence or even
Mr.
allowing the
Cardin.
people, not one vote from the Democrats allowed
Harper.
for even this
Mr. Casey.
impeachment trial to be held till after
Mr. Cassidy.
the November elections. You're seeing
Ms. Collins.
communist at its finest, in my opinion.
Mr. Coons. Mr. Cornyn. Ms. Cortez Masto. Mr. Cotton. Mr. Kramer. Mr. Crapo. Mr. Cruz. Mr. Daines. Ms. Duckworth. Mr. Durbin. Ms. Ernst. Mr. Fetterman. Mrs. Fisher. Mrs. Gillibrand. Mr. Graham. Mr. Grassley. Mr. Haggerty. Ms. Hassan. Mr. Hawley. Mr. Heinrich. Mr. Hickenlooper. Ms. Hirono. Mr. Hoven. Mrs. Hyde-Smith. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Kane. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kennedy. Mr. King. Ms. Klobuchar. Mr. Langford.
When Congress doesn't want to
Lee.
take and hear the evidence,
Mr. Lujan.
this is a sad day in American
Mr.
history.
Lummis. Ms. Lummis. Mr. Manchin. Mr. Markey.
Your Constitution
Mr.
is
Marshall.
being stripped away.
Mr. McConnell. Mr.
This is a new president. This is setting a new president. So whoever has
Mr.
the
Menendez.
Senate can either impeach or not
Mr.
impeach.
Merkley.
It's the voters
Mr. Moran.
who now have the final say in this.
Mr. Mullen.
If we don't get out
Ms.
and get these
Murkowski.
voters out, get
Mr.
these
Murphy.
Democrats that are not even
Mrs. Murray.
trying to stand up for
Mr.
the people
Ossoff.
of the United States of America,
Mr. Padilla.
our country's going to be lost.
Mr. Paul.
Not one Democrat wanted to hear
Mr.
the
Peters.
evidence, not even look at it.
Mr.
It's unreal.
Reed.
They don't
Mr.
even want to
Ricketts.
allow you to wait until after the voters
Mr. Rich.
vote. So the only way to get this
Romney.
done is and to get these people out is to vote
Ms.
them out.
Rosen.
Every Democrat here
Mr. Rounds.
voted against the impeachment.
Rubio.
They voted against hearing the
Mr.
evidence.
Sanders. Mr. Schatz.
This is not democracy,
Schmidt.
people. It's not democracy.
Mr. Schumer.
When you get yays, all yays,
Mr.
and all
Scott,
nays
Florida.
on one side or the other, this
Mr.
is
Scott,
organized
South
crime.
Carolina.
And we have organized crime in our
Mrs.
country right
Shaheen.
now, folks. When Trump
Ms.
said
Sinema.
the swamp is deep,
Ms.
you're looking
Smith.
at it.
Ms. Stabenow. Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Tester. Mr. Thune. Mr. Tillis. Mr. Tuberville. Mr. Van Hollen, Mr. Vance,
I'm urging every American,
Mr. Warner,
if you have a Democrat, and I don't care what
Mr.
level
Warnock,
they're at, vote them out of office.
Ms. Warren,
Recall them if you
Mr.
can.
Welch,
If you're a police officer and
Mr.
you want to
White
keep your
House,
job, I recommend you find
Mr.
dirt on
Wicker,
these people
Mr.
because you're not
Wyden,
going to have a job.
Mr. Young,
The Democratic Party stands for taking the police out of our country. They are for unlawful order. They are clearly showing that in this vote. This is serious. Very, very serious. Who would ever believe in my lifetime that I would see 100% of Democrats or Republicans not wanting to see the truth, not even look at the evidence? They're hiding the evidence. They're hiding the truth. I cannot believe my eyes. We need to clean our country up. The only way is us voters. It's in our hands, people. Our representatives can't do it because the Democratic Party is blocking us because they hold the Senate. It's shameful. Not one Democrat wanted to hear the truth. Not even look at the evidence. Unreal. This is a takeover, folks. Our country has been taken over at all levels of government, and you're seeing it. In the highest of the high of power. Our Congress is the most highest power that there is. And being in the Senate, they have blockaded it. They've blockaded the truth. We, the people, know the truth. We've seen it. We've seen it all over the web. But they don't want it to be pronounced. That's the problem. And I want to bring another point up, too. Who's in charge of all these people? Guess who's in office right now? Joe Biden. Joe Biden is behind all of this, and the Democrats do not want this word to get out. Unreal. This vote will fail for sure. You watch. It's the Senate's duty to hear the evidence. It's in our Constitution, folks. It's in our Constitution for them to hear the evidence. And yet they're denying to see it. Every one of these Democrats that voted no to see the evidence should be recalled. They should be voted out. We got to figure out how to end this coup because there is a coup in our country. And the Democratic Party is no longer the Democratic Party. I hate to tell you that. I used to be a Democrat until I started seeing the truth. I will never, never vote for these Democrats. This is the second coup in United States history.
On this vote, the yeas are 51, the nays are 49. The motion is to agree to. The Senate, sitting as a court of impeachment, stands adjourned sine die. Majority Leader is recognized.
For the information of members, there are no further votes today. Now, I remind all members that we have
This man
very serious
needs to be
business ahead of us,
investigated.
in the next few days, and we'll keep you informed as to schedule as things can get scheduled.
There you go, folks.
Republican Leader is recognized.
You're now seeing